With the World Cup happening in 2010, it's certainly having and going to have a knock-on effect across all industries, and the creative industries will certainly benefit as well. There is such a focus on South Africa and such a focus on everything South African. The branding for the campaign was a little bit of a play on, being World Cup year. The superstars versus the all-stars. The superstars are the South Africans, the all-stars are the internationals who are here for the conference. It was a play on a match, basically, where the South African superstars take on the international all-stars.
We couldn't do Design Indaba Expo at the scale we do it if we didn't have this global conference underpinning it. It is inextricably linked in being able to create this global event with a global conference and a fiercely local expo.
With the conference happening in tandem, the exhibitors are certainly aware of the caliber of the international speakers, media, etc. who are here. It really encourages them to lift their game. The level is such that the buyers keep coming back, the public keep coming back, and it really is the quintessential showcase of high quality South African design.
Combining these talents with industry and making things that are not just craft but have a kind of broader application. There's some lovely stuff. I mean, the very handmade stuff is very, very appealing.
What's happening every year is a more sophisticated interpretation of what South African design is. So I think as we mature as a nation and as a design community, I think you're going to see much more subtle interpretations of what it is to be South African and what it is to be a designer in this country.
And we evaluate each application with a set of criteria. Can that exhibitor produce enough units to fulfill an international order within a set time? Is the product of sufficient quality to compete in the international arena?
It's the best place to be in South Africa if you're wanting to showcase beautiful objects and beautiful products and our talent and innovation. You really will find the best of the best here.
That is also the beauty of this event, is that you have the Haldane Martyrs, the established kind of names, getting better known, and their businesses have expanded.
I think we've got to remember that it's us designers that make the show. We all need to exhibit every year, and I've set my business up that my product development cycle ends with a product launch at Design Indaba every year.
I think it's one of the most important events for the design fraternity. It is one of the big ones, and people travel from far, and it is very important, this exhibition, because you can let your creativity out.
Design Indaba is fast becoming an exhibition where the public know, or the exhibitors are presenting themselves in such a way that are very interactive.
I love the people behind the creative ideas, and also the enthusiasm introducing actually themselves is what they're doing. So that fascinates me.
I want to be here to speak with the people, to have an intimate talk with them, just tell them what I'm all about, really. So that's the main reason why I'm here.
The response has been about 100 times what we expected. Everyone has had so much fun on our stand, and that was what it was meant to be.
There's a lot more the public can get involved in the live fashion in its own dedicated event arena.
This is probably the only platform that has got international exposure in South Africa, where people from the outside come to have a look at true South African design. It's extremely important. I think you cannot think design without bringing fashion design into the picture. It's become a platform for fashion designers in South Africa to show their work to international buyers and media. This is where you want to be.
What I've noticed this year, South Africans are becoming a lot more authentic. We're realizing that we've got a lot in our home ground, and we're wanting to express that instead of doing a top brand rip-off. Look what the kids are doing, look what the established people are still doing. We're still fighting, we're still innovating, and luckily enough, we still want to grow.
We are able to host extremely big events, and it's important to develop Cape Town into the cultural and creative hub of Africa.
The expo really opens up people's eyes to the potential of design, and they get to interact with young designers, and they see that it's possible for themselves to be involved in this.
Staying with the trend of the exhibition being a great shopping destination for international and local buyers. In 2009 we did an economic impact assessment, which was done by the Graduate School of Business at UCT, and that concluded that Design Indaba as an event contributed close to 200 million to the South African economy, and over 100 million of that was sales generated from the Design Indaba Expo through the year buying cycle. So it really is having significant economic impact.
But I'd like to see more transformation in the design sector, so that people also understand is whatever they do, the chair they sit on, the gates that they have designed, the houses that is designed. I want them to have a feeling that design is part of all of us, that it's universal.
Like Design Indaba, it will be a very good platform for our designs to be marketed. It's good that the Department of the Trade industry are able to recognize what young talent is out there in South Africa.
This is really part of job creation. And I've seen very, very young people here around the stalls. They're doing some very, very good work. And if they get orders, it increases their volumes of work that has to be done, but work that also gets imported to international markets.
When you go to Germany, everything comes from China. And that's the problem. I bring the very nice new things from Africa, handmade, African design. It's special for the people in Germany. The people like it and they want it.
We are invited by the DTI to come over. Our gallery is based on selling stories materialized in products.
We're very honored, and it's a very nice opportunity to be and to see everything, what's kind of an overview of what the design in South Africa has to offer.
When I'm designing interiors or product for any client, I always look for that global hand, that hand-wrought touch, and it's here in abundance. And I think I'll go forward and use some of the crafters here in my work. I think it's always important to juxtapose the highly stylized versus the hand-wrought. Creates a good edge.
Right here, everything is a little bit more intimate. I can talk with the vendors a little bit more and get to know them personally, and then get to know their product, you know.
The customer are becoming more conscious. When they have to spend, they want to buy something that has a meaning also. It's not only an object that they like. So it's this beautiful mix that make interesting the product for them.
And we specialize in unusual one-off handmade pieces, and I come to the Design Indaba because this is one place where they're all together, and I see the real wealth of South Africa's creativity.
Every year we see a growth. I get a lot of people that come here and say, oh yeah, you're here this year, and it's a good thing, maybe we could work with you now. So people do recognize us, and there's a couple of new buyers already I've just met, which is quite great.
The buyers that we've met here, the international buyers, have been so interested in our product. We've not only just almost sold out, and we've still got one more day, but we've also just met with incredible buyers.
Our business itself is at a tipping point, I'd say, as a result of what has happened here. We've had such a phenomenal new response. People have never seen us before. Probably 80% of the people who bought from me have never ever seen our product before and have gone mad for it. And it's really accelerated us into another level.
It's our highlight, of the year, just to see all the beautiful crafts, to meet other South African crafters. It's an inspiration sandwich.
You definitely feel like you're part of something, and it's so exciting. There's such a big buzz around, and people that would come here for the sort of product design stumble across the fashion as well.
You see like all these different crafts and things, and that kind of gets your mind working and gives you ideas. So it's great.
It's cool to know that it's going on in South Africa.
The wonderful thing about the Design Indaba is we're not pigeonholed, and anything that's linked to creativity qualifies. Food is certainly one of them, and Food Corp came on board as a supplier this year. In collaboration with them, we did a series of designer baguettes where we invited top South African chefs to create a baguette, which is for sale at the expo. We had a couple of food workshops at the 7th floor Food Innovation Center, where Nils Norren from the French Culinary Institute in New York presented. There was one workshop for professional chefs, and there was also another one more for amateur chefs. What's so wonderful about our sponsors is it isn't a branding exercise. It's an exercise of engaging with the design community and the creative community. As a result, they're just wonderful collaborations that keep happening.
So nice to be part of that kind of energy and spirit, and just see how people are just bubbling up with new ideas and creativity. It's nice to be able to get the girls drinking in this environment and just celebrate with a nice ice cold beer, and really true to the brand spirit and a really nice synergy between creativity and independent thinking.
The ABSA sponsorship has certainly evolved and developed with Design Indaba. They've put a stand at the exhibition which is just phenomenal. It's showcasing the ABSA L'Atelier Art Award, and it's just wonderful that there's a bank out there that gets it and is supporting creativity and design and arts in South Africa. It's really important for us. Woolies once again have just been wonderful. They are very involved on the conference side. They sponsor the House and Leisure Green Design Awards, which is in the exhibition stand here. And of course the Making the Difference Through Design area, which is the school initiative. And that project always creates a lot of attention with their various lectures and so on, which is presented to 350 to 400 kids.
It's an absolute privilege to be standing here in front of you guys today. I think looking at all you here, this is the future of design.
It certainly is important just from a really young age to instill that feeling of creativity equals possibility.
We're coming to see all the different designs that South Africa has come up with thus far. I think it's interesting because the way the designers manipulate different materials into like a design is actually quite cool.
Everything is very unique and very interesting.
Yes.
And we love what the designers have came up with.
There's so many different categories of design, so yeah, that gives us the hope that there's a career that's
You have to make something that will sell, and that's only when you will be successful.
This year we've gone even further by creating Creative Kids Workshop on the Design Indaba Expo floor. So we're starting as low as age 6.
I can always do art, so when I'm bored, I say, why don't I just do art?
This was a wonderful opportunity for us. Not a place for mothers to just drop off their kids, but a place where kids can express their creativity and start exploring all different things.
So you're going to plug these guys, same cables as the motor, into there so that we can control it with the computer. Okay.
These rotors at the back turn, hopefully very quickly, and that should push the car forwards if it's light enough.
And then we got these little things here to stabilize so the wheels don't wobble.
Any platform, you really have to focus on the youth if you're wanting to be in for the long term. Interesting to see that a young graduate wins the most creative stand.
As an emerging creative, people tend to look and they're like, did you get the most beautiful stand award? And then they kind of like drawn to it, and then you end up speaking to the people. And I think it's actually quite cool because it's all about creativity, not about as much money as you can throw into the kind of production of it.
They're not necessarily the most creative people that come to the emerging creators. They're the people that understand that they have to be able to market themselves and present themselves on a platform like this in order to grow.
Well, it basically means everything to have something like this because it's difficult to get yourself out there. It's difficult to email people and to deal with rejections so often. So to have something like this where it's a platform for young designers to expose themselves, it's a great opportunity.
We were just excited to be here, and it's just been thrilled. We've been able to make contacts because at the moment we're just selling from our backyard. So we've just seen like just design all around us. We've seen some jewelry pieces that we could easily like to incorporate, and we've just seen like stands and just things that's just really been inspiring. We're just wowed to be here.
I think they just look at things slightly different, taking maybe a little bit more risk. Because I've seen a couple of designers, there's nothing really that changed. Maybe it's a different color or a different print. But you kind of know what you're going to get. Where with emerging markets, it brings freshness.
We look at entrepreneurship. We obviously look at what this is bringing to the economy of our country, and we believe that our young creatives have got a lot to offer.
Because of the amazing buzz over the 3 days of the expo, the media have just once again embraced it. We've had everybody from Three Talk with Nolene through to various TV channels and a slew of journalists, and a lot of our media partners are represented on the floor. Various mags, the decoration mags are all here. The conference and the expo provides content for design journalists, particularly for a long time.
And it's so exciting this year. We've got this huge spotlight on the country because of the World Cup. I mean, I'm just talking to Danish television right now, and the reason that they're here is because of the World Cup, and they take the pulse of what's going on in the country, and so they're at Design Indaba. In marketing the South African design at the Design Indaba Expo, we've chosen this whole platform of South African superstars.
Creative people don't have a team that kind of represent them. And the idea was then to, well, let's run a competition that ultimately gets people to enter, almost like they're trying out for a creative team. And that's where it started.
It's great opportunities, first of all, and it gives you a chance to create things for other people to enjoy. I think it's absolutely wonderful that more young people are doing this.
There's definitely an award focus for our exhibitors. On the first evening was the House and Leisure Green Design Awards presented by Woolworths. There's the Most Beautiful Object in South Africa award, where exhibitors can enter their most beautiful object and the public get to vote on what they think is the most beautiful object on show.
But one thing that has been amazing is people have literally come up to me at the stand and said to me, I voted for your life. You will not believe how nice people are. It's given me a whole new faith in design communities.
All creatives, artists are here, and you can really see people love what they're doing, so it's a great one.
The exposure is, everybody sees it. Well, I wouldn't have collaborated with Renelle if I wouldn't be here. And other collaboration is also starting.
We try and introduce a conference element into the expo with the international speakers who are here. Jürgen Bay and the students are running a wonderful initiative, a project going forward where they're collaborating. Each student will be paired up with an exhibitor to collaborate and come up with a product.
You need to be part of the community. So yes, we could come in, we fly in, go back to London, make ideas. But I think it becomes interesting if we are able to work together with the people here that also started in businesses because they just love their work or they have this talent they really want to achieve. And I think by working together onto this range of products, we're getting to know, but also we get things really done.
Also in the DSTV Fashion Arena, we do presentations for the exhibitors only, which happened in the mornings before we open. Lee Edelkoort is presenting this year. The exhibitors absolutely love that.
So there is a new society building, and you can really feel it every year a little bit more. There is more effort to help others, to help the world, it's more optimistic and sometimes surprising. On
the Pecha Kucha presentations, we have quite a few of the Design Indaba conference speakers who present there. Pecha Kucha is a really fun format. It's 6 minutes 40. Each presenter has 20 slides times 20 seconds. It's quick, it's interactive. So there's been a lot of activity in there over and above the fashion and film which happens, which is films that are under 12 minutes. And it's just a great look into what's happening in South Africa in the sort of film industry. There's great animation, shorts, music videos, which play in between the fashion. The wonderful part of having crafters next to industrial designers, next to furniture designers, next to fashion designers, is the collaborations that often happen, and it takes everybody out of their little box or their little silo for a while.
I've seen everybody and I've tried to meet everybody as well. It's a conversation, that's what design is about, really.
It's the first time I've actually had the courage to put myself in front of my work. I tend to stand behind it. It's been really fantastic to just engage with what other people are doing.
Not so people shy anymore after this week. But it's been an incredible exposure, incredible learning curve as well.
If you want to grow local, you have to extend yourself and flex internationally. And at some stage, of course, the expo can grow beyond just being a pure South African play. But we needed this period to really incubate South African talent and really build critical mass. And at the appropriate time, when we believe we have got there, then we can start to be a bit more welcoming of other nationalities and other platforms from all around the world and make it an even bigger fair. So we've got a few things up our sleeve.